Hey everyone, welcome back to Streetball AllStars. Today, we'll be making a breakdown of one of the most fun scorers in the entire game, Julian. Let's get into it. Alright, firstly, we'll talk about what Julian is supposed to do in the first place. Julian is a mid-range master character, alright? So, most of your shots are going to be mid-range shots when you play with Julian. With an exception, which is this smart layup. So you do have close shot move on your kit. You can do a smart layup, but yeah, Julian is mainly a mid-range master character. To be more exact, Julian is a 4-shot master. He specializes in shooting shots on your face. Whether you be far or close from him, he will be shooting on your face. And with the buff that was given to him just a couple of updates ago, from this recording is done, he has benefited a lot, and so he is a very good character that can shoot in your face at the moment. Alright, here now we're looking at his abilities. He's got an okay 3-point rating of 50, a really good 3-point rating of 69. That's actually really good even for a small forward. So again, Julian is a mostly mid-range master. He's got 62 dunk, which is really good, especially for someone who specializes in mid-range. That means you are actually supposed to dunk with Julian. Not always, but when you do have the opportunity to dunk, take it. It's actually a really good chance of that going in. Also, you have a good jump set at 76. That's really high, one of the highest in the game actually. So take advantage of that. Use your skills, which are actually pretty good and chainable with this high jump stat. But I want you guys to look at this and this, alright? So, firstly, we have his power 38. That's actually standard for all small forwards. Well, for most small forwards, that's pretty standard. That means he's actually not that strong. That means you may have trouble dunking on small forwards or PF centers, even some other SGs. They may block you from here and there. So, be mindful of that. Still, with a high jump stat and high dunk stat, with the right movements, you should be able to dunk still. But I also want you to look at this. Speed 45. It might not look that bad in the surface, but in all honesty, if you played Julian, you'd know he's actually a very slow defender. You're gonna struggle a bit against faster characters, against characters like Jessica, Chur. They are going to be a struggle to defend when you are using Julian. So that means I want you guys to invest in a lot of speed for Julian. With his buff that he's gotten on his mid-range and his skills, he is actually good enough to where even if you don't give him pure mid-range, he should do fine. I want you to focus on his speed because he will need it. He is a very slow defender, and the amount of mid-range that he already has will make up for what he needs. So again, I want you guys to focus on giving him some speed and maybe some mid-range or 3-point there as well, but mostly speed, so you can actually defend better with Julian. Also, just a side note, we're not going to talk about his skills since you do need every single one of them. They're all very useful. From his hop step that boost his disturbance resistance, from his flash shot, his smart layup, that's really good from afar, his ability to actually just double pump, it's actually very effective with Julian. All his moves, they're all very useful. Even his drift tree and his fadeaway 2 points, they're all very useful. Anyway, let's go and look at a match where I use some of these skills, and let's talk about some more on how to use Julian properly and more effectively. Alright, so firstly we'll talk about the stat that you actually want to give Julian, and as I've said before, I want you guys to focus on giving him some speed, okay? Speed is going to be very important since Julian is a very slow character when it comes to defending. Again, even more so than Randy. And I want you guys to give Julian speed. Okay. So, next up, we'll talk about your teammates that you're going to want to get with Julian. And in all honesty, most bigs will do, but you might actually want to team up with an Emma or a Robbie so that you have a good screener as your teammate. And having Jackie or Albert would be pretty good as well, since Jackie can be a separate scorer from you, and your big can actually screen Jackie, reduces more defenders on you, and Albert can score on his own as well if he's inside, and you can create some good strategies with that as well. Now, next up, what matchups are you want to actually avoid? With this, I'd say it's actually defender power forwards. You know, characters like Alto, Ranger, Nikolai, even Rika. You might actually struggle against those guys the most. You're gonna want to actually avoid dunkers as well, though a little less than defensive power forwards, but dunkers may give you trouble as well, especially since Julian's power is not actually, again, that high. It's pretty standard for small forwards, so defensive power forwards you're not gonna want to actually match up against, and you also wouldn't have the best time against dunkers, though you can still win against those guys. And the matchups that you are going to want to get, I'd say you're going to want to get shooters against them. You should do pretty well. If they are speedy, you might struggle a little bit, but against shooters are still your best chance of actually winning, since they will actually struggle on blocking you if they don't switch that properly, and you should be able to actually defend them still properly, even if you are a Julian. Lastly, we'll talk about the difficulty of actually using Julian and the meta, and he's not exactly meta right now, but with the buffs that was given to him, he's actually pretty good. He's a pretty solid character that you can use now, way better than he was before. Still, it's not really the easiest to actually win with him, especially against high tier enemies, but again, he's way better than he is now than he was before, so that's a very positive thing. And I'd say Julian is a very solid character right now. So yeah, mastering Julian isn't exactly the easiest thing to do, but if you want to do it, feel free to do it. He is a solid character right now. Anyways guys, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next.